At this critical juncture in history, Canada stands at a crossroads. The decisions made today will echo for generations, defining not just the economy, but the very identity of a nation. 5 distinct paths stretch before Canada, each with profound implications for its future. The first path of appeasement beckons with the false promise of safety through capitulation. History teaches a clear lesson. Appeasing bullies only emboldens them. This road leads to a poorer, more vulnerable Canada that is increasingly unable to chart its own course. The second path of resistance calls for coordinated action with global allies, Mexico, the EU, and China, deploying strategic countermeasures and communication campaigns. This path demands resilience through what will likely be a long, chaotic process of negotiation and pressure. The third path leads to annexation, the ultimate consequence of isolation and desperation. When a nation blocks essential exports without sufficient allies, it risks military action. This cautionary scenario ends with the loss of democratic representation and national identity. But there are brighter paths forward. The fourth path of light, diversification and alliance building, leverages existing multilateral institutions to craft new rules and systems. By working with partners across Europe, Asia, and Africa, Canada can create alternative economic frameworks that reduce dependence on any single market. This path requires supporting businesses through reinvention and implementing robust social support during the transition. The fifth path of bench, resilience, and transformation is perhaps the most profound. It calls for a fundamental shift from growth-oriented to resilience-oriented economics. Canada can build a self-sufficient economy that thrives regardless of external pressures through national dialogue, mission-oriented projects, and technological innovation. The question before Canada is not merely economic, but existential. What future do Canadians want to build? How will the economy diversify after decades of attempts? Through strategic investment in value-added processing, creating alternative trade corridors, and building resilience in the domestic market. Success requires leveraging existing multilateral institutions while creating new frameworks with willing partners across Europe, Asia, and Africa. How will defense capacity be strengthened? Increasing resource allocation to national defense, forming deeper security partnerships beyond traditional alliances, and developing specialized cybersecurity and critical infrastructure protection capabilities. How will communities be supported through transition? Robust social safety nets and retraining programs must be implemented. Mission-oriented projects with creative financing can help communities adapt to new economic realities, while reimagined education systems prepare citizens for a transformed economy. Who are Canada's steadfast allies in this changing world? Those nations committed to rules-based international systems, the EU, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and emerging partnerships across Africa and Asia. These relationships must be cultivated through sustained diplomatic and economic engagement. And perhaps most fundamentally, what price are Canadians prepared to pay to remain Canadian? The answer lies in accepting short-term economic disruption for long-term sovereignty, investing in domestic resilience, and, perhaps most critically, embracing a transformation from growth orientation to resilience orientation. The challenges before Canada were unprecedented, but so was the capacity for innovation and adaptation. Throughout its history, Canada has faced adversity with courage and creativity. This moment calls for nothing less. The paths of diversification and resilience offer a Canada that is surviving and thriving. This nation has transformed a challenge into an opportunity and emerged more vigorous, more self-sufficient, and true to its values. As Canada stands at this crossroads, the choice is not from fear, but from vision. Not just for today, but for future generations who will inherit the Canada created today. The future of Canada is not prescribed. It remains to be written. For more information on Canada at a crossroads or any other emerging challenges you may be facing, and to obtain the full and free report, contact us or register at do.preempt.life. Thanks for watching.